Hi, I'm Ming from Tokyo. In this video, I will share with you the top 10 new updates you need to know related to money in Japan.
Japan is going through a lot of changes this year, so it's important to stay informed. Food prices are rising with almost 3,000 items increasing in October alone. If you're traveling in 2024 or early 2025, there might be a chance to experience green car seats for free. Cyclists, be aware sticker penalties are starting in November. Another update is that new banknotes are out, yet some machines might not accept them. Japan's new Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba is making waves with his economic policies, something to keep an eye on in the future.
Before we get started, let me share with you something. We are offering private tours around Tokyo as well. If you're interested, please contact me through the link below. Okay, now let's go.
Number 1. Food price increases. Japan's wave of price hikes is still going strong in October 2024. The prices of about 3,000 food items went up, the highest number this year. Alcoholic drinks and beverages saw roughly 1,360 price hikes, followed by processed foods with around 670 items and sweets with about 240 items becoming more expensive. This trend is driven by rising raw material costs due to unusual weather and higher logistics and labor expenses because of staff shortages. At first, stealth price hikes where the price stayed the same but the amount of product got smaller were common in Japan. This approach worked because customers are sensitive to even tiny price bumps of a few yen, which can slow down spending. But now, those small hidden price increases are not enough to cover rising labor and shipping costs, so companies are raising prices faster. Some examples of products that got more expensive in October include bottled drinks, processed meats like ham and sausage, cooking oil, and chocolate treats like Meiji's Kinoko no Yama and Takenoko no Sato.
It's hard to say how long these price hikes will keep going.
Number 2. Free green card experience. JR East is rolling out green card service on the Chuo Line Rapid and Ome Line starting in spring 2025. Green cards cost more than regular cars but come with spacious, reclining seats. The fare is 1,010 yen between Tokyo and Hachioji and 1,260 yen between Tokyo and Otsuki with a 260 yen discount if you're using an IC card. The green cards have 180 seats across 2 floors and they're already getting packed. Since only a few trains are offering this service, it looks like the crowding will stick around for a while. JR seems pretty generous, but for people willing to pay for the extra comfort, it might feel a bit underwhelming. Honestly, I think it might have been better to just charge the regular green card fare.
People are expected to keep using this service even after the promo ends.
Number 3. Shared Ride Taxi Service. The Go Cab app is available all over Japan and makes it super easy to catch a cab right from your smartphone. To make it easier for international visitors, the service, which used to only accept Japanese phone numbers, now lets you sign up with foreign numbers as well. Plus, if your phone isn't set to Japanese, the app confirms your ride by number instead of name, and it automatically switches to English to make things smoother. On top of that, a new carpooling service is launching this winter. It's designed to meet demand and run efficiently in the Bay Area, covering spots like Tokyo Station, Toyosu, famous for Team Lab Planet, and Kachidoki, known for the Olympic Village. You can pick from several designated pickup and drop-off points in the area to avoid unnecessary detours. Fares will be 50 to 60% cheaper than regular cab rides, with a flat rate no matter how many passengers are in the car. This rideshare service requires advance reservations, and there's a system in place to confirm passengers before boarding. So you will have a seat reserved just for you. While taxi fares in Japan can seem a bit high compared to the cost of living, this new service is expected to bring more value to the industry by making things more efficient and convenient. Number 4. Increased penalties for bicycles. Starting November 1st, the penalties for using a smartphone while riding and cycling under the influence are getting stricter. If you're caught riding a bike while holding your phone, you could face up to 6 months in jail or a fine of up to 100,000 yen, with even together penalties if there's an accident. Riding under the influence of alcohol can land you in jail for up to 3 years or with a fine of up to 500,000 yen. Even though bikes are a common way to get around, violations and accidents have been on the rise, so these stricter rules are meant to help prevent that. On top of that, fines around 10,000 yen will be handed out for more than 100 minor offenses, like running red lights or not making full stops. And within the next 2 years, riders over 16 will face tighter regulations. As a cyclist myself, I get why these strict penalties are necessary. They could really cut down on tragic accidents. But there are parts of the law that bug me too. For instance, when cars illegally park in bike lanes, cyclists are forced to ride with pedestrians, which isn't safe.
Hopefully, these kinds of issues will be resolved as bike laws get stricter. In any case, it will be interesting to see if these new regulations actually lead to fewer accidents down the road.
Number 5. Mount Fuji toll increase. Starting summer 2024, it will cost 2,000 yen per person to enter Mount Fuji from the Yamanashi side. The fee is meant to help improve the trails, cut down on overcrowding, and boost rescue services. You can pay the toll in advance online. In general, the number of climbers is capped at 4,000 per day, and you will need to reserve a spot during peak season and on weekends. There's also an optional 1,000 yen Mount Fuji Conservation Corporation fee, so if you're taking the Yoshida route, the trail on the Yamanashi side, it will be 3,000 yen total. They're even thinking about raising prices further for the Yoshida route.
Personally, I think it makes sense to have the toll if it helps create a better environment for climbers. What do you all think?
Number 6. Great Value Pass. There are tons of different passes you get in Japan, and grabbing one could save you money on your trip. If you're planning to visit Osaka, I would personally recommend the Osaka Round Trip Pass. It gives you unlimited rides on subways, buses, and streetcars in Osaka for 1 or 2 days, and all you need to do is show a QR code on your phone. It covers most public transportation within Osaka City, though it doesn't include JR trains to Nara or Kyoto. Plus, you get free entry to over 40 tourist spots like Osaka Castle and the Umeda Sky Building, along with discounts at shops and restaurants. So, if you're planning to hit up a lot of Osaka's attractions in one day, this pass is a great deal. You can also buy it online in advance, which is super convenient. Now, while there are plenty of passes available in Tokyo too, I think the Osaka Round Trip Pass really stands out for its value and convenience. Also, the Japan Rail Pass, which used to be a great option, has gotten more expensive and might not be as worth it as it used to be. Number 7. Minimum hourly wage increases. Starting in October 2024, the national average minimum wage has been raised to 1,055 yen. This is an increase of approximately 50 yen compared to a year ago. While wage increases are important for the Japanese economy, it's clear that restaurants in particular are struggling to keep up. For example, while many restaurants in Tokyo pay workers around 1,200 yen per hour, they often offer meals priced between 500 and 1,000 yen per person. While consumers enjoy affordable and delicious meals, some may feel that the quality of service has declined in certain establishments. Specifically, although the focus remains on providing food, service may sometimes be overlooked, such as a lack of smiles or friendly interaction. If you expect better service, it might be worth considering a slightly more expensive restaurant in a department store. It remains to be seen whether restaurants will be able to maintain their current prices or if further price increases will follow. Number 8. Notes on the new banknotes. As I have covered several times in my previous videos, new banknotes were issued in Japan in July 2024. The 3 bills that have been updated are the 10,000 yen, 5,000 yen, and 1,000 yen notes. State-of-the-art hologram technology and improved watermarks have been introduced to prevent counterfeiting. Recently, I've been seeing more of the new banknotes being used. Although the old and new bills have the same value, they feature different people, which might confuse tourists about which ones are acceptable. The old and new bills can be used almost everywhere, but there are few things to keep in mind. Most restaurants will accept both, but some vending machines and ticket machines might not be compatible with the new bills.
If your money gets returned, don't try to force it. Try another payment method or ask a staff member for help.
Number 9. Rising hotel prices. Since Japan removed its COVID-19 border rules in 2023, hotel prices in Tokyo have gone up a lot. A lot of businesses, hotels that used to charge about 10,000 yen at night are now asking closer to 20,000 yen, especially in popular downtown spots and around tourist attractions. The big reasons for this are the booming demand for travel after the pandemic and inflation pushing up costs. As more foreign tourists visit Japan, the high demand for hotel rooms has caused prices to rise everywhere, from luxury hotels to budget ones. On top of that, inflation has led to higher running and labor costs for hotels, so they've had no chance but to raise their rates. And it's not just Tokyo. Places like Osaka and Kyoto are seeing similar jumps in accommodation prices, especially in areas packed with international visitors.
If you're planning a trip to Japan, remember to budget extra for your hotel.
Number 10. New Prime Minister and the Japanese economy. On October 1st, 2024, a new government came to power in Japan. Shigeru Ishiba, who assumed the position of Prime Minister, was well known for having held important positions such as Minister of Defense and had strong support from the public. One reason for his popularity was his reputation for sticking to his own opinions without wavering. A good example is his criticism of then Prime Minister Shinzo Abe's monetary easing policy. Ishiba argued that the low interest rates were hurting the competitiveness of businesses. Initially, it was thought that he would pursue a tight monetary policy after becoming prime minister, but his statements have since shifted in a few different directions, raising public concern. For example, this can be seen in his position on the selective surname system. The selective surname system would allow married couples to have different surnames, but this is not currently permitted in Japan. Before becoming prime minister, Ishiba said on a news program, "I don't get why people think the family falls apart if married couples have different surnames, and I also don't see why this system hasn't been introduced yet." However, since taking office, he has changed his tone, saying, "I'd like to refrain from expressing my personal views." Although there has been some criticism of Prime Minister Ishiba's shift in stance, the public remains focused on how his administration's economic policies will develop in the future.
That's all for today. Don't forget to subscribe and like button. See you at the next video.